Hey everyone, we are continuing our devotional series called Incarnate, and it's all about leading us up to Christmas Day and just how vast and wide the scriptures are in declaring that day that the Messiah is going to be born, that the Christ child is going to be born. Today we're looking at Psalm 2, kind of an interesting psalm, and it so reflects how so many of us are feeling even today. In this day and age, and I get tickled to death when I read this. But it forces me, as we're going through this Incarnate series, to think about how it's relative to the Christmas message. And as I read this and I think about the Christmas season in our day and age, I get amused a little bit about how easily offended we are at the culture's resistance to participating in even the word Christmas. Soon we're going to hear phrases like keeping Christ in Christmas, or we're going to hear offenses about coffee shops not serving the right color of cup, or we're going to be offended by even the word holiday. And I say it amuses me not in a mocking way, because I appreciate the sentiment that comes with some of the reaction to that. What I think is wise for us is to not be surprised by any of this, and know that if Christ is being taken out of Christmas, that these sections of our culture and society, it already has been. And if we are offended by a color of cup or the use of the word holiday, that has been going on for ages. And I think one of the ways that we can not get so worked up about it is that we can step back and just appreciate that we are still recognizing a time that affords us an opportunity in our culture and in our society to express our praise and our thanksgiving that God would send his son. As we look at the second psalm, we look at this, and the psalmist is asking what is going on with these kings. In the first three verses of this psalm, he is in wonder. It's going, the kings are collecting as a council to see how they can overthrow God, who is the one that placed them in this spot. And as you move through the psalm, we read that God laughs. He says, who are you, essentially, to overthrow me when I'm the only authority that you have? It reminds me of this story I read about a man named David Lawrence, who about 70 years ago was quite often invited to a senatorial prayer breakfast. And this was a regular meeting that many members of Congress would have, and they would study scripture, pray for one another, and even occasionally sing or hear a profound message. And David Lawrence was one of the only people who was not in the Senate who would be invited to this, and often was asked to speak. Well, he wrote an editorial on May 5th, 1956, to the U.S. News and World Report. And in this editorial, he says this: it is a temporary answer to the threat of world disturbance that we face. The North Atlantic Treaty is temporary. The United Nations is temporary. All of our alliances are temporary. Basically, there is only one permanence we can all accept. It is the permanence of a God-governed world, for the power of God alone is permanent. Obedience to his creation, his law, is the only road to lasting solutions to man's problems. Now, I read this because I want you to read the second psalm and know that God has provided the only permanent solution by the arrival of his son, to which the second psalm points toward. So as we move in this season of Christmas, in this season of the incarnation, do not be discouraged by the world's the fear and the lack of recognition of the arrival of the Messiah, but take heart in knowing that your heart is set on the Christmas and the Christmas message, the arrival of Christ. For no one can remove Christ out of Christmas, because they do not possess the authority, and you know this in your heart and in your brain. So, how does this have to do with Christmas? Well, I just explained that to you over the last 4 minutes. But what's this have to do with you today? I want you to participate in lively debate, in lively discussion, knowing that that lively debate and discussion is opposed by people who don't believe what you believe. Do not be angry about that, but participate in that, and know without beyond a shadow of a doubt that Christ has sent his son to live amongst us, to whom we call Emmanuel, God with us. And because of that, the solution to all of mankind's problems has arrived, and we will lean into that solution, whether or not anyone recognizes it around us. You guys have a blessed day, and read this psalm and laugh along with God. Yes, see you later.